This call is now being recorded. जो बच्चे जुड़ रहे हैं वो अपनी प्रेजेंट कर दीजिए। आज हम रिवीजन क्लास कर रहे हैं क्योंकि फर्स्ट टर्म के अकॉर्डिंग हम अपना पूरा सिलेबस कंप्लीट कर चुके हैं, तो जो चैप्टर्स पहले के हैं उनको हम सभी को रिवाइज कर रहे हैं। तो रिवीजन में मैपिंग आइटम्स हैं, ध्यान रखिएगा। तो आज जो वीडियो एक आज मैं आपको दिखा रहा हूँ उसमें कुछ मैपिंग आइटम्स भी हैं, तो उन पर थोड़ा फोकस करिएगा। सेकंड चैप्टर है फिजिकल फीचर्स ऑफ इंडिया ज्योग्राफी का, ठीक है। तो आप सब लोग देखिए, शांति से समझिए, जहाँ कुछ बात होगी समझाने की वहाँ मैं रोक करके आपको डिफाइन करूँगा।
The physical features of India can be grouped as the Himalayan mountains, the northern plains, the peninsular plateau, the Indian desert, the coastal plains, and the Indian islands. The Himalayan mountains are one of the most beautiful places in India to explore the gifts of nature. Its highest peaks, snow-clad mountains, carpet of flowers, and sunrise, sunset through the mountains offer a delightful experience. The Himalayan ranges can be grouped into five parallel longitudinal mountain belts of varying width, each having distinct physiographic features and its own geological history. They are designated from south to north as the outer or sub Himalayas. They are also called the Shivalik range, then the lesser or lower Himalayas. Next, the great Himalayan range, known as the Himadri range, and the Tethys or Tibetan Himalayas. Further north lies the Trans Himalayas. From west to east, the Himalayas are divided broadly into three mountainous regions, that is, western, central, and eastern. The Himalayas are 2,400 kilometers long, and their width varies from 400 kilometers in Kashmir to 150 kilometers in Arunachal Pradesh. The Shivaliks are the southernmost and geologically youngest east-west mountain chain of Himalayas. They have many sub-ranges and extend west from Arunachal Pradesh through Bhutan to West Bengal and further westward through Nepal and Uttarakhand, continuing into Himachal Pradesh and Kashmir. They extend over a width of 10 to 50 kilometers and have an altitude varying between 900 to 1100 meters. The longitudinal valley lying between the lesser Himalayas and the Shivaliks are known as dunes. For example, we have Tehra Dun, Kotli Dun, and Patli Dun. Now, these are some of the well known dunes. The hills are cut through at wide intervals by numerous large rivers flowing south from the Himalayas. Next is the Lesser Himalayas or Himachal Himalayas. The Lesser Himalayas or Himachal Himalayas lies to the south of Himadri. The altitude varies between 3,700 and 4,500 meters, and the average width is 50 kilometers. It consists of the Pir Panjal range, which forms the longest and the most important range. Next is the Dhauladhar range and the Mahabharat range. Now, these three are the important ranges lying in the lesser Himalayas. The Pir Panjal range is the largest sub-range of Lesser Himalayas. It is a group of majestic mountains in the Indian state of Himachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir. The average elevation varies from 1,400 meters to 4,100 meters. The Pir Panjal range is the largest range of the lower Himalayas. Dev Tibba and Indrasan are the two tallest peaks of Pir Panjal mountain range. It also has India's longest rail tunnel known as the Pir Panjal Railway Tunnel. Then it is Banihal Road Tunnel, famous Rotang Pass and Banihal Pass. The Dhauladhar range is one of the branch of the main outer Himalayan chain of mountains in Himachal Pradesh. Dhauladhar mountain range is one of the major attractions in Kangra along with the amazing Kangra Valley. Highest peaks of the Dhauladhar range is the Hanumanji Ka Tibba with an elevation of 5,639 meters. The Mahabharat range completely lies in Nepal. The Lesser Himalayas consist of the Kashmir, Kangra and Kulu valleys. The Kashmir Valley is bounded on the southwest by the Pir Panjal range and on the northeast by the main Himalayan range. It is approximately 135 kilometers long and 32 kilometers wide and is drained by the river Jhelum. Kulu Manali is one more important tourist place in this region. Due to its close proximity, these two names, that is Kulu and Manali, are often considered as a single destination. The valley is known for its amazing hills and various temples and sightseeing locations attract a huge number of visitors each year. The Kulu Valley is surrounded by Deodar and pine forest and is located between the lower and the greater Himalayan ranges as well as the inner Himalayan ranges of the Pir Panjal. Kulu Manali is one of the topmost tourist places in Himachal Pradesh and is frequented by huge crowds of tourists and pilgrims. Kangra Valley predominantly lies in the state of Himachal Pradesh in India. It is one of the Himachal's most beautiful valleys. The next one is the Great Himalayas or Himadri. This is the most continuous, loftiest and northernmost range of the Himalayas. The snow-clad mountain ranges rise in height up to 6,000 meters and are covered with snow. Many peaks exceed 8,000 meters. It is a source of a large number of glaciers of varying dimensions. When I say glacier, it refers to a huge mass of moving ice. Though it is described as the longest range, it is not continuous because a large number of rivers originating in the north of this range cut across and form deep gorges and move towards the south. However, compared to the other two Himalayan ranges, the Himadri is more massive. The Great Himalayan Range run in a northwest to southeast direction in the western part. Behind these ranges lies the Jhaskar Range. The Jhaskar Range is a mountain range in the Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir that separates Jhaskar from Ladakh. Geologically, the Jhaskar Range is a part of the Tethys Himalayas. The next one is the Trans-Himalayan Ranges. They are about 40 kilometers wide and 965 kilometers long. It consists of Karakoram, Ladakh and Kailash Range. The Karakoram Range is located in the northern part of the state of Jammu and Kashmir. It is one of the major ranges of
Who's ready to hatch some cool pets? Click here to make your
Himalayan system. It is the home of the highest concentration of peaks rising over 8,000 meters. K2 is the second highest peak in the world and the highest peak in India. It runs for a distance of 500 kilometers and is heavily glaciated part of the world outside the polar region. The next one is the Ladakh range. It is more or less like a huge high altitude plateau region. It is located between the Karakoram range and the main Himalayan range. It lies in the rain shadow area. The entire Ladakh region can be described as a cold desert. The next one is the Kailash range. Now, this range lies entirely outside Indian territory. The Kailash Peak and Mansarovar are the prime attraction for pilgrims. From west to east, the Himalayas are divided broadly into three mountainous regions that are western, central, and eastern. The western Himalayas extend from the Indus River in the west to Kali River along the Nepal border in Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, and Uttarakhand. The western Himalayas can be further divided on the basis of regions such as Kashmir Himalayas, Himachal Himalayas, Punjab Himalayas, and Kumaon Himalayas. The next one is the Central Himalayas. It stretches between river Kali to river Testa. The major part of Central Himalayas is covered by Nepal. Its eastern part is called the Sikkim Himalayas and the Darjeeling Himalayas. The Eastern Himalayas. It stretches between the Teesta and Brahmaputra. It occupies the state of Arunachal Pradesh. The Eastern Himalayas are also called Arunachal Himalayas. The Eastern Himalayas have a number of passes. Jelipla in Sikkim and Bumla in Arunachal Pradesh are main routes to the Tibetan capital Lhasa. After learning the main Himalayan ranges, we shall learn about the associated mountains. Now the hill ranges running in the north-south direction along the Myanmar border are called Purvanchal. As they form the easternmost part of the country, they are called Purvanchal. They run through the states of Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram. As a result of the eastward movement of the Indo-Australian plate, we find that a series of hills have developed in this region. From north to south, these hills are referred by different names. Like we have Patkoi Hills in Arunachal Pradesh, Naga Hills in Nagaland, Manipur Hills in Manipur, and Lushai Hills in Mizoram. The highest peak of Naga Hills is Saramati Peak, which is 3,826 meters.
One, two, breathe. 3, 4, and
In this video, we shall learn about the Northern Plains of India. The Northern Plains of India is the second largest geographical division of India, the largest being the Indian Plateau. The North Indian Plain lies between Himalayas to the north and the Plateau region to the south. It has an area of 6,77,638 square kilometers. This plain is mainly made up of alluvium deposits brought down by the Himalayan rivers. The North Indian Plain stretches from Rajasthan in the west to Assam Valley in the east. It has a total length of 2,400 kilometers. The width varies between 150 to 500 kilometers. The North Indian Plain has an average elevation of 150 meters, whereas Himalayas, the average height is 6,000 meters. The plateau region of India is between 300 to 900 meters, and the coastal plains, the elevation varies between 5 to 30 meters. The North Indian Plain is divided into Rajasthan Plain, which is generally studied as a separate physical division of India. Then Western Plain, which covers the state of Punjab and Haryana. Central Plain, which covers the states of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and West Bengal. Eastern Plain, which covers Brahmaputra Valley and the Delta region, which is popularly known as Sundarban Delta. The Rajasthan Plain lies to the west of Aravalli Range. This region is divided into two parts, the Marusthali and Bagar region. Marusthali is the actual desert region. It stretches from Rann of Kutch up to Punjab and Haryana. It is 650 kilometers long and 300 kilometers wide. This region is now characterized by shifting sand dunes, extreme climatic conditions, sparse vegetation, and thin population. The sand dunes are classified as Seef and Barkhan on the basis of their shape, size, and wind direction. The Rajasthan Plain slopes towards west and south. The northeastern part of the region has an average elevation of 300 meters, while the southeastern part is less than 150 meters. There are many small scattered hillocks making the western edge of the Bagar. Rajasthan Bagar refers to the semi-arid region. So Marusthali refers to the desert region and Bagar region refers to the semi-desert regions. This region lies to the east of Marusthali. This region is further subdivided as Luni Basin because this region is drained by river Luni and its tributaries. Then the Shekhawati region. This was the regions of Shekhawati Rajputs. Then the Ghaggar Plain. This region is known as Ghaggar Plain because river Ghaggar, an inland river, terminates in this region. After the Rajasthan Plains comes the Western Plain, which mainly covers the states of Punjab and Haryana. Geologically speaking, the region is of recent origin. It is formed of sediments brought down by Himalayan rivers. The plain is bounded by Shivalik Range in the north, Rajasthan Desert in the south, Pakistan in the west, and Delhi Ridge in the east. The region slopes to the south and southwest. Its elevation varies between 275 meters in the northeast and 175 meters in the southwest. This plain is a fertile alluvial plain with many rivers and an extensive canal irrigation. A belt of undulating hills extending along the northeastern part of the region along the foothills of Himalayas. The northern part of the region is drained by the river Ravi, Beas, and Satluj. The areas between Yamuna and Satluj is occupied by the river Gagar. River Gagar rises in the outer Himalayas, that is Shivalik range, and flows through Haryana and then goes to Rajasthan. Then comes the Central Plain. The Central Plain is the world's most extensive plain of uninterrupted alluvium formed by the deposition of silt by numerous rivers. The major rivers in this region are the Ganga, Yamuna, Chambal, Gomati, Ghagra, and Kosi. The plains are flat, making it conducive for irrigation through canals. Based on the depositions brought down by the rivers, four different type of regions develop, and they are Bhabar, Tarai, Khadar, and Bhangar. Whenever there is heavy rainfall in the mountains, streams develop and they join to form rivers. These rivers come down with great force and they bring along with them stones. So at the foothills of Himalayas, there are regions where there is accumulation of stones, pebbles, gravels, and sand. These regions are known as Bhabar. Beyond this region lies the Tarai belt, and these are marshy lands. Now, in the northern plains, wherever the rivers are flowing, in the adjoining areas, there is continuous deposition of fresh alluvium soil, and these are known as Khadar. But when this soil is pushed away and they become old, are known as regions of Bhangar. The rivers in the northern plains are responsible for formation of various geographical features such as Doab. The regions lying between two rivers is known as Doab. For example, river Ganga and Yamuna form Doab. Similarly, because of the gentle slope of the North Indian plains, there are regions where the rivers move in a zigzag manner. These are known as meanders. And whenever a part of the river
यस बोलिए बेटा.
सर ये दुआब क्या है?
दोआब बेटा दो नदियां जो होती है ना उनके बीच में जो मैदान होता है ना उसे दोआब बोलते हैं.
सर ग्रेवल क्या है सर? ग्रेवल
क्या?
सर ग्रेवल
ग्रेवल ग्रेवल तो बेटा
ग्रेवल बोले ना
बेटा जो पत्थर के छोटे छोटे टुकड़े होते हैं ना.
यस सर.
उससे जो कंकड़ीली पथरीली जो मिट्टी बनती है ना उसे ग्रेवल बोला जाता है. जैसे सड़क भी बनती है ना ग्रेवल सड़क.
सर वो गिट्टी वगैरह.
हाँ उसे हम ग्रेवल बोलते हैं उसको.
जी सर.
चलो देखिए बेटा.
separates, they are known as oxbow lakes. So meanders are in a way responsible for the formation of oxbow lakes.
This is how fast YouTube is with Brave. Notice how there's no pre-roll ads? And here
The entire central plain can be further divided as the upper Ganga plain, the middle Ganga plain, and the lower Ganga plain. The upper Ganga plain extends up to an average 550 kilometers in length and an average 380 kilometers in width. It is located in western Uttar Pradesh. The middle Ganga plain extends up to an average of 600 kilometers in length and an average of 330 kilometers in width. It is located in eastern Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. The lower Ganga plain is located in West Bengal. The next comes the delta region. First of all, let us understand what is a delta. Whenever we take up a river, in the final stage, that is at the mouth of the river, it divides into different distributaries or channels. The triangular shaped land between the distributaries is called as delta. The Ganga Delta is also known as the Ganga Brahmaputra Delta or the Sundarbans. It extends in the West Bengal and Bangladesh. It is one of the most fertile regions in the world and is called the Green Delta. The delta stretches from the Hooghly River to the Meghna River. It is approximately 350 kilometers wide at the Bay of Bengal. Deltas are also formed by rivers such as Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri. Let's come to the Eastern Plain. Now, this Eastern Plain is a continuation of the Great Plain of India. It is a well demarcated physical unit in the northeastern part of India. The valley includes the whole of Assam, which is drained by Brahmaputra River. This valley is formed by Brahmaputra and its tributaries. Now, the general elevation of the valley ranges from 130 meters in the east to 30 meters in the west. Geologically, the valley is formed by the deposition of alluvium, which is about 1,500 meters thick. Brahmaputra is the lifeline of Assam. The river with steep gorges and rapids in Arunachal Pradesh enters Assam with tributaries and creates a floodplain, that is, regions that are flooded in the rainy season. The Assam Valley is 80 to 100 kilometers wide and about 1,000 kilometers long.
Who's ready?
आज के लिए बेटा यही था, ठीक है। ये रिवीजन क्लास थी जिसमें आपने इस चैप्टर के वीडियो को देखा। बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग था अगर आपने इसको समझा तो, क्योंकि देखो जब इमेजिनेशन होता है ना, सामने हम पिक्चराइज करके देखते हैं ना चीजों को, तो हमारे दिमाग में रहती है, वो स्थायी रहती है। अच्छा लगा सभी को? अरे सभी ने देखा सभी ने? किसने देखा?
यस सर।
ऑनेस्टली किसने देखा था? चलो बढ़िया बात है। ओके ओके, वेरी गुड, अच्छी बात है बेटा। आप क्या करना है, आज के लिए होमवर्क नोट करिए। एक तो आज आपको जो पढ़ा है आपने, इसका ड्राइंग टास्क बनाइए। आपके मैप आइटम्स में भी है, देखिए उसमें सिलेबस में है मैप आइटम्स, उसमें आप इसको ड्राइंग टास्क में करिए। इस चैप्टर को पढ़ाई, इसको पढ़ना है, साथ में इसके जो क्वेश्चन आंसर्स हैं उनको करिए, ठीक है। और ऑब्जेक्टिव टाइप करने की कोशिश ज्यादा करिए, क्योंकि आपके अब जो पेपर का पैटर्न है वो ऑब्जेक्टिव टाइप हो गया है, ठीक है ना। एमसीक्यूज पे ज्यादा फोकस करें थोड़ा सा। चलो।